Welcome back to the Godly Insights channel. In today's episode, we're diving into Genesis chapter 11, a pivotal moment in biblical history. We'll explore the pride of humanity at the Tower of Babel, God's intervention, and the beginning of the lineage that leads to Abraham. Let's get started. Verse 1 reads, "Now the whole earth had one language and one speech." This verse sets the stage. Humanity was united linguistically and culturally. This unity made collaboration easy, but it also enabled collective rebellion. Verses 2 through 4 read, "And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinear, and they dwelt there. Then they said to one another, 'Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly.' They had brick for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, 'Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth.' As people journeyed east, they settled in the land of Shinar, ancient Babylon, and said, 'Let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top is in the heavens, lest we be scattered abroad.'" The insight here is this was an act of pride and self-exaltation. They sought to make a name for themselves apart from God. The tower symbolized human ambition, trying to reach heaven on their own terms. A theological note here is that God desires unity under his rule, not unity in rebellion. The tower reflects mankind's desire for autonomy, a recurring theme in the Bible. Verses 5 through 7 say, "But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. And the Lord said, 'Indeed the people are one, and they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. Now nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them. Come, let us go down and there confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech.'" The insight here is that God's descent is both literal and ironic. Despite their attempt to reach heaven, God still had to come down. The use of us reflects the divine plurality seen in Genesis 1 verse 26, a hint toward the Trinity. In verses 8 and 9, it reads, "So the Lord scattered them abroad from there, over the face of all the earth, and they ceased building the city. Therefore its name is called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth. And from there the Lord scattered them abroad over the face of all the earth." Here we see that human plans that exclude God ultimately lead to confusion. Babel stands as a warning against pride, but also the beginning of diverse nations, which God later redeems in Acts chapter 2 at Pentecost, where languages unite in praise. In verses 10 through 26, it reads, "This is the genealogy of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begot Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. After he begot Arphaxad, Shem lived 500 years and begot sons and daughters. Arphaxad lived 35 years and begot Salah. After he begot Salah, Arphaxad lived 403 years and begot sons and daughters. Salah lived 30 years and begot Eber. After he begot Eber, Salah lived 403 years and begot sons and daughters. Eber lived 34 years and begot Peleg. After he begot Peleg, Eber lived 430 years and begot sons and daughters. Peleg lived 30 years and begot Reu. After he begot Reu, Peleg lived 209 years and begot sons and daughters. Reu lived 32 years and begot Serug. After he begot Serug, Reu lived 207 years and begot sons and daughters. Serug lived 30 years and begot Nahor. After he begot Nahor, Serug lived 200 years and begot sons and daughters. Nahor lived 29 years and begot Terah. After he begot Terah, Nahor lived 119 years and begot sons and daughters. Now Terah lived 70 years and begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Some key details here speak on the lifespans progressively shortening post-flood, indicating the effects of sin on human vitality. The theological importance here is that genealogies are spiritual roadmaps. This one narrows the focus from all nations to one man, Abram, through whom God will bless all nations, as we will see in Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 3. Now, if we read the last 6 verses, 27 through 32, we find the genealogy of Terah. Terah begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Haran begot Lot. And, Haran died before his father Terah in his native land, in Ur of the Chaldeans. Then Abram and Nahor took wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and the father of Iscah. But Sarai was barren. She had no child. And so Terah took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, the son of Haran, and his daughter-in-law Sarai, Abram's wife. And they all went out together from Ur of the Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan. But, they came to Haran and dwelt there. The days of Terah were 205 years, and then Terah died in Haran. The insight here, folks, is that this passage introduces Abram, who becomes the central figure of Genesis from this point forward. His story marks the beginning of covenant theology. Some additional notable details are that Haran dies before Terah in Ur of the Chaldeans. Lot is introduced, foreshadowing his future role. And Sarai, who later becomes Sarah, is said to be barren, a crucial detail for the miraculous nature of Isaac's birth. The chapter wraps with Terah taking Abram, Lot, and Sarai toward Canaan, but stopping in Haran. After 205 years, he died in Haran. Genesis chapter 11 marks a turning point, from a scattered humanity to the beginning of God's redemptive plan through one man, Abram. From the confusion at Babel to the covenant with Abraham, we see a God who intervenes, redirects, and ultimately restores. Stay tuned for Genesis chapter 12, where God's great promise begins to unfold.